I'm sorry, this is probably gonna get me blacklisted from Apple, which would break my heart. Hey, good morning. It's about 1:30 a.m. and I was about to go to sleep, but then I saw 𝗖𝗛𝗊𝗙 released a video about Final Cut for the iPad, and well, here we are. If you're like me, your entire Twitter feed and news feed has been all gung-ho about Final Cut for iPad, and I too made a video earlier this morning or afternoon after it was released. Obviously had a ton of questions. You guys did too. Left a bunch of comments on the videos. Thank you so much. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe because we do content like this. Thanks to 𝗖𝗛𝗊𝗙 and the fact that she was able to get a couple minutes hands-on use with Final Cut Pro for the iPad, a lot of our questions were answered. Goes without saying, but make sure after this video you go check her video out, even though you probably did already. But rest assured, by the end of this video, we're gonna have a better idea of who this app is for and if it actually deserves the term pro.
The one thing that was like a big question that I had was, will I be able to start a project on my iPad, send it to my Mac, and then send it back to my iPad? No, you will not be able to send a project back from your Mac to the iPad.
I'd love to know the percentage of people that just went, well, I'm out. If you're kind of like me, where like your iPad is your mobile device and then your computer is a desktop, you have to go back and forth a bunch of times because sometimes you're in a coffee shop or traveling on an airplane or whatever, and then sometimes you're on the computer. Can you imagine like getting halfway done with a project on here and then doing some of it on the computer, not finishing, being like, I need to go hop on a plane. Well, now I can't finish this on my iPad.
Basically, everything is self-contained inside of the library, so you aren't able to use external drives, so you do have to copy and import any of the footage onto your iPad.
Oh, and whatever percentage of people left for not having proper round tripping, another huge percentage of people just left because of the hard drive. And what's funny is I was commenting back to people with this concern today, like, no, of course you're going to be able to use external hard drives. DaVinci Resolve for the iPad could do it. 𝗦𝗧𝗨𝗙𝗙 can do it. I don't know, most third-party apps can do it. If you can access the Files app, you can access an external hard drive. I'm not a programmer, so I'm not going to say, oh, it's super easy. It's like 5 lines of code. I don't know. But clearly, third-party developers have been able to do it, and you're telling me that Apple's can't figure out how to... I'm sorry. I swear, like I'm feeling an upswing, right? This video is gonna ebb and flow. I want to throw this out there right now in the middle of this video. I swear to God, if anyone comments like you're just a DaVinci Resolve fanboy, I have Think Different tattooed on my arm. There's nothing I want more than to see Apple come out with a killer kick-ass product. But that means my standards are crazy high, and we have waited so long for, never mind an iPad version. I think most of us gave up on that. We've just been waiting for a Final Cut update. So excuse me if I'm gonna, tear it apart a little bit when I see the holes.
Now, multicam editing is also something that you can do in here, and it's so intuitive. Like,
multicam, great. It's awesome. iPads and computers nowadays can definitely handle multiple streams of 4K plus footage, and that's great. But 𝗦𝗧𝗨𝗙𝗙 just had a pretty significant update for multicam, and it's a one-time purchase inside of 𝗦𝗧𝗨𝗙, then you just own it. They sent it over to me to play around with, and it looks awesome. I'm sure a lot of 𝗦𝗧𝗨𝗙 people are happy.
And inside of the timeline, you will just click which angle you want. And with that, for videos that have multiple cameras,
I mean, the interface does look nice. Like, it'd be very easy to switch back and forth between your angles and kind of do live editing and stuff. So the interface looked nice, very minimalistic.
I tried very quickly at the end of my demo, and then I had to give the iPad back, but this is a scene removal mask.
Scene removal mask. I think this is going to be a killer feature. I said it in today's video. They've gotten so good at the whole like Photos app on an iPhone or iPad. You can just like press and hold, and it'll like take the subject, paste it anywhere you want, but it like cuts it out quite well. Clearly that same technology is in here, and I think that's going to be a killer feature.
Fingers crossed, hoping that sometime soon they will offer third-party support. I obviously have my 𝗦𝗬𝗙𝗧𝗏 plugin that I made with Motion VFX.
𝗦𝗬𝗙𝗏, highly recommend. Motion VFX, highly recommend. Pretty sure they teased on their Twitter that they will be coming out with support, and even Apple says like third-party plugin support will be coming soon.
Also pretty cool, they have an added pro camera mode.
All right, so I believe this screenshot kind of confirms it, that pro mode will exist inside of the Final Cut app. It's not an update to the camera app. A lot of people are guessing we're going to see it as an update to the like iPhone 15 or 15 Pro or whatever. I hope so. Again, long overdue.
Edits ProRes RAW.
That's cool. Sweet. So it will have some support for a pro codec. I really wish on the color page they would show color tools besides just a scope.
A lot of the complaints that I saw this morning was about the price.
Yeah, a lot of people hurt about the whole subscription thing. I don't mind either way. Like when I first started really getting into like professional work as a 14 or 15-year-old, if you wanted the Adobe CS3 Master Collection, I believe it was called, it would run you, I think, around $8,000. If you just wanted Photoshop, I think that was like $1,000 or $1,500, and they would come out with a new version every 18 months. But when CC Creative Cloud came out, it was like, hey, instead of $8 grand, you can just pay, $50 a month. Yeah, that was great. I think there are definitely apps and services that take advantage of the whole like subscription models. Like as a parent, kids apps, don't even get me started. Apps that should cost like $2 are like $8.99 a week. I think whether or not people will continue to be upset about the price is if you have a product or service that is subscription model, you should be constantly coming out with updates, new features, fixes. All right. And then she goes on to share her opinions and stuff. Again, go watch her video after you're done with this one if you haven't already. Let's get personal here. I'm going to throw the close-up adapter on this anamorphic lens. If everything I've seen so far is as good as it will be on May 23rd when we all download it, it's about 2 years too late. If they would have released this app 2 years ago, there would be nothing but standing ovations around. But you see, LumaFusion carried the kind of flag or whatever you wanted, the trophy, for quite a few years. That was like the only real pro editing app. Then in December, you have DaVinci Resolve who comes out, and even ignoring the hack that allows you to unlock the entire software, if you just look at the public release, what you get when you download the app with the cut and color page, they're the full-fledged versions of what you find on the desktop. Blackmagic Cloud works. All of your projects sync 100%. You can import your LUTs. Motion VFX came out with an app that allows you to use third-party plugins. When they came out with DaVinci Resolve 18.5 on the computer, the same exact moment they had an 18.5 update for the iPad version. And while people can debate all day long of like what professional is editing on an iPad, the fact of the matter is as a professional, you can edit on an iPad and get all of the features that you need. And you can do it all for free, or the studio version's what, a $90 or $99 one-time purchase, and then you get all future updates for free. But from what I'm seeing, this is not Final Cut Pro. This is iMovie Plus for iPad. And I get what Justine says in the video, that this is version 1. There's gonna be updates. And I hope that is true. Starting where they are, they're gonna have to play catch up very quickly in order to stay relevant or have this not be a total flop of an app. But with all that said, I believe there is a perspective that has a very positive spin. There's really kind of 2 points to it. The first one is that live drawing feature. I've never seen anything like that in an app. The idea of being able to like want to draw arrows to things, and I want to like draw on like a product to like showcase something and do it all very quickly. Like I could totally see doing all my videos in Resolve and then throwing a copy onto Final Cut for the iPad and just kind of doing all my live sketches and little motion graphics with the Apple Pencil and then just export the final copy out of there. The other thing that I've seen a couple people talk about today is why would Apple release this now when WWDC is just in a couple weeks? Sure, a lot of people said it's because Google I/O is tomorrow and Apple just wanted to kind of take a little news time away from them, which could be true. Other people were saying if they're willing to release this now, then that means WWDC is stacked, because you would think this would be one of the headlining features or pieces of software talked about. The optimism that I have as an Apple Ultra fan tells me that they release this now. It's version 1. All the complaints that I talked about in this video are valid. But if it means that a major Final Cut Pro for desktop update is coming in a couple of weeks, I'm cool. I'm cool. Even if the desktop version goes subscription and they have like this roadmap of like new features or things you'll get on a monthly basis, I don't know. And they really convince us that, hey, our pro software team is not dead. They're still very much alive, and they've got a lot of things that are exciting that are coming. If that is the case, I can see Final Cut for iPad as a win. But if this is all we're getting, after years and years of waiting for anything more than a generic codec or bug fix update from the Final Cut team, I worry that it's too late.